Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Test Open Mappool showcases. This one for the round of 32. As we've now exited the qualifier stage of the tournament, I believe every single team has now played their lobby, so we can present the actual bracket pool. My name is Tycoon, and joining me today is Freddy. Freddy, how you doing?
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you all are. Doing pretty well myself. Hoping to see some pretty crazy picks, particularly in the laser mod pool.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Go over this pool format a little bit. Obviously with laser mod there, skill sets have to be balanced kind of differently, and we don't have as big of a no mod pool. We saw that in the qualifiers pool. And it continues in this round of 32 pool, where once again we have 3 no mods. This time 3 laser mods rather than 2. So it is a very, very interesting balance. Let's go ahead and get right into the no mod 1. And I imagine this one might come as a surprise, if you've ever heard the term no mod 1 before, because this isn't.
Something, slot pooling dead.
Map pooling is dead and we killed it. Something like that. No, there is a... I think some poolers will just like... They'll put like a tech map in no mod 1 and then an A map in no mod 4 just to mess with people. That's not what's going on here. It's just there is not an A map in the pool this week. Or sorry, in the no mod pool. Sorry, there are A maps in the pool. But just not in no mod this week. We wanted to try aim and laser mod, so we immediately went for the flow aim streams map in the no mod 1 this week.
Relatively straightforward throughout, from what I can see, and the occasional 1/6 burst to keep you on your feet. But a relatively low star rating for most players in this tourney.
Yeah, this is a 6.2 star pool. So it's not like crazy high, you know. This is, I think, literally every team that played in the qualifiers has automatically qualified. It was just a seeding round, so you know, the lower SR is very nice. A lot of teams aren't going to have issues playing it, especially after playing the longer qualifier, or sorry, the harder qualifiers at that 6.8. But you know, these maps can still be pretty missable. This one, especially just off of its length, 184 BPM doesn't provide any really mechanical issue, but 4 minutes of this combined with the you know, the kind of intermissions of 1/6 and 1/3 can definitely make you prone to missing on this if you're not super consistent with your streaming.
And I also reckon that the lower seeds could still end up like caught out even by a relatively low BPM such as 184 as it goes on and on. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it can be very very scary for the low seeded teams especially, and that's going to be true for every map. The idea of the no mod pool is basically to be the consistency pool, right? It's supposed to be the kind of pool that grounds you. For the lower seeded teams, they are... Some of them, the lowest seeded teams might actually be looking at, oh hey, no mod's kind of skill cap, isn't it? But for the rest of the teams, this is not the pool that you're expecting to miss on. This is the pool that you're kind of expecting act wars at this star rating. Just kind of the nature of these really low rounds.
yeah, of course.
You know, still prone. It'll happen. You know, the flow aiming here is kind of demon.
I always forget that in laser, because you don't switch between a score v1 and a score v2, the no fail is always 0.5x multiplier no matter what.
Yeah.
So.
It can be very weird in matches for a lot of casters, kind of adjusting to that. I feel like a lot of us have just like that mental like set of how scores work comparative to the miscounts and accuracies, and that completely flips on its head in laser, especially with the 500,000 max score. So,
absolutely.
So the easiest way is just to do the math and say, anything I think, it's half of that now. But not completely true. Laser also has a higher act weight than Score V2.
50-50 or something like that for laser compared to like 70-30 or combo
I think so.
slash act respectively.
I don't remember exactly what it was. I know Teddy did a poll about it, and I voted for whatever the highest accuracy option was, because as a combo gamer myself, I'm a combo game hater. But
and then,
yeah, I don't actually remember what it was.
That slider stream that was hit a little late, I reckon that could have been an actual like break in stable because of how slider and leniency changes work. Both like late and early hitting.
By the way, that last stream's messed up. If it was literally anywhere else on the map, the map would be instantly like, no, we can't have this. But because it's right at the end of this No Mod 1, totally fine.
Oh,
that's going to be it for that No Mod 1. Let's move on into No Mod 2. So because No Mod 1 is what people would normally call No Mod 2, No Mod 2 is what people would normally call No Mod 3.
Yeah, another thing, a side note.
Right. We are taking a short intermission for just a second between maps. I forgot about that.
Oh, absolutely. One thing I remember is that, because they made it so that you need the no miss requirement in order to get S rank, I see it, and you see the split second where it hits S rank, it's like, no, you get an A rank instead.
Yeah.
Oh, good. But yeah, hopefully your, wherever you are out there, your Monday evening, Saturday morning, midnight, wherever you are, you're all
Saturday morning.
Fine. Not Saturday, Monday.
What are you on Mars?
Monday evening, Tuesday morning. Holy crap, I'm a time traveler.
That'd be really cool. Time travel just for OSU tournaments.
Absolutely.
Like, wow, oh wow, this weekend of matches is finally over. Time to travel to the next one. No break for a guy like me.
But yeah, on another note, anyone in North America enjoyed the eclipse that occurred? I don't know who was in the path of totality, but hope you all enjoyed it. It's like once in a while that you ever get to see one.
Yeah, I had a showcase this morning where my co-commentator ditched me to go see the eclipse in Toronto.
Oh my gosh. I can't blame him. That only happens like once like every couple years.
Oh yeah, totally.
Depending on the area.
Absolutely can't blame him. But it's like, damn, that's my guy.
Left me out to dry.
Alright, in intermission, it should be over. We can now move on into No Mod 2, which I almost called No Mod 3 because in my head it's a No Mod 3, but it's actually a No Mod 2 because welcome to Test Open. Pizza Hui, mapped by Gazimal. This map is your kind of 150 BPM. I think a lot of people would say alt consistency. For to just call it like aim control, right? It's some pretty hard snaps across this map for 6.2.
And also the occasional like 1.6 because it's 150 BPM.
Yeah, we kind of didn't let up on the finger control of the No Mod pool. I'm realizing maybe that's kind of nice. I think it's always I always feel like No Mod becomes more of an aim pool than a tapping pool. You know, like you have your what happens is you have No Mod 1. In any standard tournament format, you have No Mod 1. That's No Mod 1. You have No Mod 2, which is always a flow aim focus. It's never like a stamina thing. No Mod 3 is always either big flow aim or aim control, depending on what the pool needs. No Mod 4 is like slider aim. And it's like, at that point, you better hope there's speed No Mod 5, because otherwise it's just an aim pool.
the small pity points that some players need when they're better at speed compared to aim.
Yeah.
Always a must when it comes to like relatively high level tournaments.
Yeah, I mean the problem is just like no mod speed maps. Like good no mod speed maps are so hard to find. I know some tournaments have just switched over to just doing it in DP. Some have switched over to like free mod because it's a little bit easier to fulfill those requirements. It's like there's a bunch of things. It's like it kind of makes no mod speed an unfortunate thing to keep pursuing.
Yeah, of course, of course.
To talk a little bit about the map because we've just kind of been dodging it. 3 minutes of pretty standard CS4 aim control, and you've been seeing it, right? It's There's snaps everywhere. There's a little bit of these weird flow aim patterns that can be hard to hit. Like we can see Azazapag miss right there. Unfortunately, some wiggles. Finger control. So it's kind of all over the place in what you'd expect from an alt map, but I think generally it focuses on how good are you with that cursor control.
For sure. And oh, sorry, someone just walked in right now, so I have to like talk to him for a bit.
Fun. And I think 3 minutes is nice. I guess 2 minutes 44 is the actual length. I think in a lot of no-mod pools, what you see is like a 4-minute alt map. We kind of wanted to avoid that this week for the the length average. I like this length a lot. And this is the end of no-mod 2. Move on into no-mod 3, Milioni. Same kind of ramble with no-mod 1 is no-mod 2, no-mod 2 is no-mod 3, no-mod 3 is no-mod 4. This one
map of the no-mods.
Yeah, one of the second shortest map in the pool in general, and yeah, the shortest in the no mods. Very, very difficult slider aim all throughout. This one a 0 PP in OCU map, which I think, you know, if you know anything about modern tech, right, you know this name so well. Such a very, very well known slider aim mapper.
Mapper name be what I get on high star passes.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? Like, I think the name 0 PP in OSU is the greatest for mapping tech, because that's correct. 0 PP from any of his maps.
Yeah.
You are not farming 0 PP maps. And he's also like almost 7-digit. He's ranked 929k right now, so pretty descriptive of the player he is. But I think it's quite funny. Either way, your rank doesn't define who you are as a mapper, but rather your maps. Yeah, this pattern is so hard. That is easily the hardest pattern in the map. It kind of turns it into an A map for a second, but kind of introduces that, like, those big slider jumps that you see in this sort of second high intensity section. It's a very, very difficult sliders for sure.
I saw a little bit of no lock. It probably tapped a little too fast on that section, so saved them from like early tapping in a bit.
Yeah, some of the rhythms in this map are not what you expect. I think a lot of people see tech maps as almost kind of reading maps at some points, and this map definitely fulfills that. There's a couple of patterns that just don't quite look how they play, and I imagine that's kind of where that tapping lock kind of starts. But again, very short map, already over. Let's deviate from what we did last showcase and actually immediately move into no mod. Laser mod 1.
Yeah.
LM.
That is going to catch us off for a good amount. But yeah, first laser mod of round of 32. And this laser mod will introduce the deflate mod.
Yeah, so I talked a little bit last showcase about how we categorize mods. We have playfield mods and we have reading mods. This is the playfield mod for the laser mod pool. Deflate is very, very difficult. I think there's a little bit of a rating tinge to this as well, where it's like, this is one of 2 playfield mods. This was kind of intended as the middle ground between playfield and reading, where it's kind of hard to read this, where the circles aren't really where you expect because of the deflation. And we thought that would be really interesting with like this raw aim that this map introduces. I would normally put this in no mod 1. But the raw aim combined with deflate, I think, makes for a very interesting challenge that you really have to feel comfortable with how this mod works.
Oh, that's gotta be so deadly.
Yeah, there are a couple of those spike jump patterns that Square2 just throws throughout the map that can be very, very tough. You see like Entro getting caught off by him, and I don't blame him. I don't think my score when we pooled this was any better. They can be so difficult.
I probably would have gone like 100k, and that's like the best I could have done.
Yeah, you know, I almost see it like this is obviously a playfield mod. Like the circles, their hitboxes do change, but in my mind, I almost read this like it's traceable, right? Where I just I pretend that the circles are all just approach circles now, and that's that's how I see the map.
Yeah, like you said about the approach circles, it does, because there is no approach circles, it does impact the reading of it for a little bit, but I do reckon that enough practice would definitely, you've memorized like a few key patterns to like keep your combo, and then the filler, it's like probably not really gonna invest too much time in like trying to memorize, just like play it out normally. And here's another big jump section. Nice.
Oh, beautiful hit. Yeah, again, this is like raw aim. This isn't like here's super comfy aim. This isn't here's super awkward aim. It's kind of meant to be in the middle, right? Where it's just, what is the highest spacing map we can put in 6.2? Oh, this one. Okay, let's throw it in. I think raw aim is a very good skill set to test early on. I think a lot of early SR pools kind of fall to you just pool consistency and you call it aim because hey, it's easy SR, whatever. But these maps exist at this star rating. I think they're important skill sets to test. Like, are your aim rosters actually there, or are you just putting your ACT players onto the consistency maps because they can kind of play it, right? So very, very different. That was kind of the goal of this LM1, but also the end of it at just 2 minutes 44 seconds. Let's move on into Laser Mod 2. And this is not Laser Mod 2. Laser Mod 2. The idea of it was like it was the reading mod. I kind of wish, retrospectively, that we switched 1 and 2 around, just that they were better transitionally, right? Because LM1 is reading and playfield mod combined, and then LM2 is just reading, and then LM3 is just playfield. Should have switched those around, retrospectively, so they kind of bridge between each other. But while we wait for the map to show up, I'll spoil what the mod is this week. It is Approach Different. Which, if you haven't seen the mod, the gameplay for it looks absurd.
Yeah, I was looking at the replay with that mod and its settings that we put for enabled, and I was like, okay, this looks a little too fast for my liking. How do people read this?
Yeah. Oh, apparently the replay was submitted wrong.
Ooh, I see. Ah, that's rough.
Might have to do auto mod for this.
Yeah, I think that definitely will have to be the case.
Yeah, it's 8:30 a.m. for the replayer. I think this is an auto mod method. Unfortunately.
Unfortunate, but got a couple seconds to like hear the song instead of like just jumping in immediately. So gonna be something that people will most people will probably be familiar with.
Alright, yeah, this is gonna be I was gonna say this is gonna be a monster, which is true for the song. Godzilla by Eminem featuring Juice WRLD. Kind of a crazy song pick to just throw out there. And you can immediately see why this mod is so messed up. I kind of wish we did have the replayer, because I'm sure that the replay makes this look like so difficult.
Oh my gosh.
So the mod settings for this are the initial size is 7, and the approach algorithm is deflate 1. What this does is it makes the approach circle super huge when the circle appears, as you can see. Kind of introduces a sense of density, but what it also does, and this is why we went with the speed, is because the approach circle moves really fast. Changing the initial size does not change the AR. So if you're looking at initial size 7 on an AR 9.2 map, suddenly it feels like you're playing like 10.3 and or like even like AR 11 straight up, and then the circle slows down right at the end and it messes with you. It is so weird to try and play for the first time.
Yeah, I remember just looking at this and when I was watching like the autoplay, and it definitely did feel like really difficult to follow for about like the first 90 seconds or so. And even when like after like I started getting the hang of it, it still like felt like a big eyesore at times.
Yeah, like you definitely like this is a learnable mod, and it's learnable very fast, more so than traceable that we had in qualifiers, but this map can still mess with you. And it was a very intentional choice to have like 166 BPM, just because it's like this isn't too dense. This is still like entry-level rating mod, as far as like the BPM goes combined with this, but it can still be very difficult, and you've got to be on top of your game because it is so easy on these like 1-1 gaps that are like everywhere in the map, to just kind of like autopilot. You see the fast-moving approach circle and you just kind of click without thinking.
And then to the 1/3 section we go into.
Yeah. Luckily, this map is like not mechanically difficult at all.
Absolutely.
Even this 1/3 section is like minimal spacing, but it is the patterning. The idea of it was just to completely mess with you, and your instinct. Like, I mean, most people who are going to be playing in a tournament have played Usu for at least a year, and a lot of the higher seeded teams have they have players that have been at this for like 7-8 years, and this kind of messes with that instinct a lot. This stream section just kind of looks cool. I don't think this stream section is hard to read at all. It is mechanically the hardest part of the map, but it just kind of looks cool.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It just looks so satisfying about it.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of the reading mods look so cool with flow aim.
I only remember the section for being like the clip farm section on multiple.
Oh,
like,
of course.
Like the 10-star like clip farm maps, and then like some high rank player plays it. It's always fun to see. But on to the very next laser mod, our last laser mod map of the round 32 pool. This one will introduce the wiggle mod, and it's basically what the name suggests. All the circles spaz out like they got seizures. Yeah,
this one is very weird. So the idea was like for the playfield mod, we wanted something that isn't like too out there for this round of 32, so we went with wiggle. By the way, that is the worst cut ever. That build up goes to nothing. It makes me I've heard the songs too many times. But wiggle, it's like this is aim control, or it's more flow aim centric. Sorry. But either way, the wiggle can kind of mess you up. So it almost becomes a precision test, which I think is very interesting. If you're aiming the centers of the circles, you're never gonna miss. Like this is not like too hard in terms of how hard they wiggle, but if you're aiming the edges of the circles all the time, you are probably gonna have trouble.
Yeah, it's one thing I noticed for like not just this map, but also the first map in the pool that you played, because of how it's the whole circle like shrinking into its actual size. So you feel like when you do the edge hit, you're gonna hit it, and it's the pixel perfect tap, aim, all that. You think you got it, but no, it's like that's like can give you as a miss.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to keep in mind, like, you will never miss if you hit the center. It does not shake that hard, but it can mess you up for sure.
Like it just
but overall, I think mechanically this map is easier than No Mod 2. Just the wiggle kind of provides a little bit of an element to it.
But yeah, this will. But most players, I assume, can just take solace in the fact that knowing this is the last of the major gimmicky like maps in terms of like a strictly by mod.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to be very interested to see the pool and ban format is very, very specifically laid out to make sure that you can never fully ban the laser mod pool.
That would be stupid. Or
so
you could fully ban it out.
It's gonna be interesting seeing teams play laser mod maps. I'm interested to see like what's the most pick. Like, is it gonna be Wiggle? Is it gonna be AD? Is it gonna be Deflate? Like, I'm so interested. But that is the end of the map. Very, very short. 2 minutes 17 seconds. Let's get right on into Hidden One. Nagaiki no Kami-sama, map by Shizuku in his his Shikibe Mayu era. If you know the mapper Shizuku, you know like he's got like 10 names, and each of those is just a different era. This is the what I call the Kalibe fan 1 2 3 kind of style.
Oh my gosh.
It's if you've ever seen like late stage pools that have like Desert Theater Hidden One, that's kind of what this is, but at 6.2.
It is the same composer after all, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I should know that. I mapped Desert Theater. Yeah, they are both by Kiko Ohana. And they're both 240 BPM. And where Desert Theater, the one that everybody knows, is an Ill-Jazz map. This is very Ill-Jazz styled, but at a much lower star rating. There is a lot of density to this map, and that was really the idea with this. Where you know you kind of have your pretty solid raw aim in Laser Mod 1. Hidden One didn't need to be as aim centric. You know, let's have something that is definitely difficult to aim and definitely awkward to aim. But let's also have something that feels very, very dense. You're playing this at AR 9.3 at 240 BPM. For a lot of people who aren't comfortable with Hidden, which is going to be a lot of the lower seeded teams, this is going to be absolute hell to wade through. Very, very difficult map, especially with its patterning.
Yeah, the Hidden mod pool in particular always looks for different ways to challenge your reading week after week, and this is definitely one of the big staple ways to challenge it at high BPM, relatively low AR, low density, like you just said.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some messed up like little rhythms in this map, like that right there with the. I don't actually know how that rhythm plays. I forget, but I think those doubles were 1/3, but I'm not completely positive. They're just very, very weird. You know, this is the kind of thing that you want your hidden specialists on. You don't want to take a chance with this map.
I swear, Kiko Hana just does not miss, man.
They don't. They're so good. Kiko and Hanaton are both great on like solo artists even. Together they are unstoppable.
What a fake out in terms of like you feel like it's done, but no.
Yeah. That, or you feel like it's about to be like the most intense thing in the world. It's such a big build, and then pure calm. And then it just hits you with it all out of nowhere. Bam, right there.
Reality.
Well, we hit the Eminem map in the other pool already, man. Yeah, I think this lack section a little more aim heavy than it is density heavy, which is chill. It trades one skill set for another. Both that this map is supposed to test. This is the end of the map. Thank you, Tony2, for the replay. Let's move on into, after this longer than long spinner, Hidden 2, the shortest map in the pool.
And also a staple in the hidden pool. You always need that one low AR map to keep you relatively light on your feet. To test those people that can't read low AR, where the circles effectively are fully disappeared by the time you get to them, and it feels like you're tapping nothing. and sometimes has like a relatively higher than average CS or a little precision.
Yeah. This map by GN, which I kind of forget that guy can map. That does a lot of these kind of older styles, which makes sense. The guy is old. This one AR8, sort of aim centric. Kind of sharing the mantra of aim with Hidden One, just because Hidden One is like a crazy aim map. And the reasoning is that we felt like Laser Mod 2 was already hard enough to read, that we didn't need a crazy centric Hidden 2 reading map, and could just kind of focus on your AR8 sort of ability to aim, which in itself is its own kind of reading skill set. Maybe not as prevalent. Maybe a lot of reading players will say it's a little easy, but you know, it's 6.2. I think kind of works just alongside Laser Mod 2. If it worked for Laser Mod 2, I would say this map absolutely doesn't work. But alongside it, I think it's pretty nice to have the aim AR8. It is also, again, the shortest map in the pool, 1 minute 30, is all this map has for you. Before we move on into the Hard Rock pool.
You blink, you miss it.
Yeah.
And
it goes by very fast.
Got yourselves in Hard Rock 1, what should be a very straightforward map. By Megan Shirakai.
Yeah, everyone's called this old while we were pooling, and I almost broke down crying. This one, this is from 2016, which I guess, yeah, it's old. 200 BPM consistency, so like to just kind of go over the aim again. You have raw aim in LM1. You have density aim in Hidden One. Wanted something a little more based around your consistency, so that's what this Hard Rock one is here for. The difficulty feels damn near the same the entire map, and just 200 BPM, not crazy high spacing jumps, but you know, definitely present, and you've got to be really, really comfortable with your CS 5.2 OD10.
Definitely. And a relatively standard map length as well. Like, the average map length for this whole pool in particular was like a little less than 3 minutes, if I remember correctly. So.
Yeah, that's generally the goal. Is like 250 to 310 is like my ideal. The specific average for this pool is 251, so right in there. And this one kind of plays like right above it, 3 minutes 14 seconds, just a little bit above the average pool length. Combined with the other aim maps, you look at it and like all of the aim maps are shorter than this one. So I guess Hidden One is 2 seconds longer, but it's also not fully an aim map. So this one kind of stands to be the most consistent of them.
Overall, lazy pickings so far. It's just a few unfortunate misses in the intro, but
yeah, no, intro's a beast. He can play this. He's a gamer. Yeah, some of these jump patterns do get difficult near the end. 2016 classic, right? Like, in 2016, having a dip spike at the end of your map was not just normal, but expected.
Yeah, because.
So, a little bit.
People would know, like, how, like, that was, like, the very... I think that was, like, the first era where, like, combo-oriented, or taking advantage of combo scaling was, like, started to ramp up, where people would make the first couple, like, hard sections not too hard, and then the last part is where it all spikes, because by then people have already acquired a lot of combos, so if you miss once, you're still breaking, like, some good gains.
Yeah, your like exclusive farm mappers would kind of follow that philosophy, and I think just general mapping, back then had a really big focus on progression, and difficulty progression was kind of always seen very linearly back then. I'm kind of glad it's changed over the years, but back in like 2016, your difficulty progression was your map better be hard by the end, otherwise it doesn't make sense. So this map kind of follows that. It gets a little harder as time goes on, but the nice thing about laser is that the act weight makes us not worry as much about that. You know, obviously it's still present, but it's not as big of a, like, you know, you have a map like this, it's not a problem. That is the end of Hard Rock 1. Let's move right on into Hard Rock 2. Boombox. So this one I've had a long running bit with Ed Bones where we joke that I'm an ego pooler because I always pool my own maps. The joke is that it's not me that's pooling them, it's Ed Bones. This is like the first time that I've actually just put my map in.
Shameless self-promotion.
This was intended for 5WC Round of 16 Hard Rock 2, but we actually ended up changing what it was. But I kept the original Hard Rock 2 version around because I always like these alt precision maps. So like, you have if you have a reading specialist, you're gonna play LM2, and you can kind of. We don't want Hidden 2 to be too reading heavy because of it. If you have a precision specialist, you don't really have a map. Like, Wiggle, only kind of. So, this one was meant to appeal to the Hard Rock specialist in the same way that Hidden 1 appeals to the Hidden specialist. Alt Precision is not something that a vast majority of people are comfortable with. 6.5, 125 BPM, not the most comfortable thing in the world.
Yeah, definitely a lot of portions. People to trip up at, so gotta be vigilant all throughout these admittedly relatively short 2 minutes and 2 seconds, but
yeah. I mean, kind of a double-edged sword on length, right? Like, yeah. you can maybe cheese it. You know, if you're a really good aim control player, you could maybe cheese it. But at the same time, any break as far as the combo side goes is gonna matter so much. You're also looking at OD10, 125 BPM for the lower seeded teams. This is act hell, which is gonna take a huge hit on your score, which I actually really liked for this.
That accuracy weighting is going to bite people.
Yeah, for sure. But again, it is a relatively short map. That's all she wrote. Not just for Hard Rock 2, but the Hard Rock pool. Let's move on into DT1.
And if you thought we were done with rate adjusting, think again. We're rate adjusting some more.
Yeah, actually,
just roll back into here.
We had a DT1, and then we realized it was 1.5, and we were like, wait, we're the laser tournament. Why are we doing this? And so we looked, and we were like, you know what? Overpooled though it is, number one, we looked at our usage numbers, and the highest usage we had on any other map was DP2 at 231. We were like, yeah, we can afford a 1K map. But also, nobody's played Days of Dash 1.6 in tournament before. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that wacky? I think if you're familiar with lower star rating tournaments, you've seen this pick before. Slightly faster. I don't remember exactly what the BPM is because our sheet shows the 1.5 stats for the pooling.
Or I'll just type it into Google Calculator, see what it gets. 256.
That sounds right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We wanted to aim for DP1 to be faster than Hidden 1. So that was kind of the idea there. This does have some burst through it. Like, it almost plays like a D&B map. It's crazy.
It does. And the AR is slightly higher than 10 because the base AR was 8.5. Normal DT is 1.5 times, which makes it 10 flat. So I'd say this is like 1.1 maybe.
That was a big thing. We were like, we wanted to make sure that DP1 was at least above AR 10. We want to look at like, can we do like how doable is 10.3 next week, right? Because obviously don't want to be stuck in low AR hell. I think it works here though. Definitely fast enough to not make this map feel like a slog to try and read. But but not quite the AR 10.3 that so many people are used to. But it is again the lowest round, right? So a lot of room for 10.3 in the future.
Of course.
So unfortunately, a lot of the good maps for for the DT pools at this star rating are just like the mapper just said, "All right, AR8, have a good day." AR8.
Yeah, I always was like, what was it? In my first 2 years of playing this game, seeing like all the maps around and the 4-star range being around between 8 and 9 instead of like leaning way more towards 9, I was like, okay, it looks normal. And then nowadays I'm all like, wait, this should have been 9. This could have been 9. It would have been fine.
Yeah. 9 is fine, as they say. But that's the end of DT1. Move on into DT2. And this one, this one's a personal favorite of mine and Ed Bones. Halber Slazik. What a collab name to have. If I remember correctly, it's just Half Slash and Uber Zolik, but they just wanted to mess up the name as hard as they possibly can. And so we got Halber Slazik as the collab name.
That's so good.
Yeah.
211 BPM with that increase to 1.6 compared to 1.5, and an AR relatively close to 9.8 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Maybe 9.85.
Yeah. So the idea with this one was DT1's an aim map with speed elements. Let's fully send the finger control on this map. This finger control can be so difficult.
Oh my god!
Wear your stamina down by the end. With its BPM, 1.6 on both maps I think was interesting. I know last week for qualifiers we did 1.6 DT1 and 1.4 DT2. This time we're just sending 1.6 on both. It just kind of worked this time.
Kind of funny. Every time I see like okay, I know it's supposed to be like 100 in laser, but then my brain defaults it to 50. And I see Matt, and I'm all like, "Oh, okay, never mind. That's the 50."
Yeah, I never like look at this skin because I just play with my own personal skin that I've modified to like fix like the slider and things. So it's like I'm not used to the laser act judgments that it just automatically shows on this skin. Kind of messing me up.
I still use Aristia skin because it's whatever skin was left on it after round table, so I was just lazy to change it.
That's funny. Who played laser at Roundtable?
No. I imported everything to laser after Roundtable.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just that I think last person to use my computer was Mrek, and he used the Aristia skin for tiebreaker.
Oh, that makes sense. That's DT2.
Anyway,
super hard finger control. Let's move on into the tiebreaker. Feeling Sky. I was shocked when I checked the usage for this and it was under 200 because what a classic this map is. And this song, too. Feeling Sky in the year of our Lord 2024. I was in love the second I played this. I was like, this is literally the perfect tiebreaker.
It does. It is one of those like songs and maps that you feel is like shouldn't be a regular tiebreaker for like these mid to high 5-digit tourneys in like their mid-round stages back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, if you're curious, check the lead bot. The usage is 146, which is crazy given that this map was uploaded in 2015, ranked in 2016. Boomer pool, by the way. Like that is an absurdly low use. Like, I know it's a tiebreaker, and you have to keep your tiebreaker usage. You know, you keep it in mind. It's going to be a little bit lower, but for the length of time that this map has existed, nearly 9 years, 146 is kind of insane. It is pretty standard 174 consistency. You're not getting gated on this, in terms of either the tapping or the aim. You do have to be very, very consistent. You have to act these bursts, act these streams, and hit some of the harder aim that you get in the key eyes. But at AR 9.3, OD 9, I don't think you're gonna see anybody get gated by the map stats.
Definitely. This is just a pure... Yeah. I say rec compared to like RB2, if there is like a midpoint miss, it captures score like 700k instead of like 650. So.
Yeah, well,
a slightly little better score, but like for the higher seeded teams, it's like if you miss in the middle, it's like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. No, actually, tiebreakers are probably the greatest slot to benefit from laser scoring changes. It's always a shame, right? To have a tiebreaker where you know, the mapper just puts some crazy hard pattern in the middle, someone breaks and they're capped, and they're gonna lose the match because they just missed in the middle of the map and now they can only give 600k. The accuracy difference makes tiebreaker a much more consistency focused slot than it always should have been. Which is much appreciated, where we can go with this mech tech and we're not scared about any of the tech patterns that could throw you off, because it really is, at the end of the day, about your accuracy. Are you catching slider ends? Are you acting bursts? Are you hitting the jump spike patterns, right? It's not all about your combo, which is so nice.
Oh my god, wait, no. I remember this map for one specific Twitch clip in particular. Azer was playing this. I think he was playing this.
Alright, you just aged it by like 8 years already. You just said Azer was playing this, okay.
Yeah, he was playing it with Hidden Hard Rock. And I remember Dashi, this cat, walked across the table. He's like, Dashi, please don't.
What was this map?
This one across the Stratiga's Michelson one. And then
oh my gosh.
he was all Dashi was already sitting, and then she stood up, and then she's like, Dashi, please, and then she sat back down. He's like, okay, she sat back down, and then he missed after that.
I've had that happen while I was trying to set like runs on Gendarme. Like I was like, oh, I'm much better at tapping now. I can finally hit these 1/3 streams. And I tried to play it, but my cat decided that tonight was the night that I was not allowed to tap 140. And she sat right on my tapping arm.
Oh my god.
It's like, I love you, but you gotta stop right now. I'm just trying to play my favorite Jonathan LFJ map. Come on.
It was this section right here, where he's all like, Dashi, please. Okay, she went back down, and then missed right there.
It's so unfortunate, it's in slow section too. It's like not where you expect to miss, and then your cat ruins the whole thing.
Yeah. And then I remember he tossed away his pen, just like looked at it, he said, I hate you so much right now.
Yeah, okay, I remember seeing that clip a couple of years ago. I didn't realize it was this filling Sky. That's so awesome.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about with this map, really. Boomer map, I love to death. Fairly standard mech tech.
Now I know this map is played like with no mod or maybe some free, like a slight free mod, but can someone get like the second DTFC on this as well, please?
Yo, someone play Traceable in match, please. I would love to see Traceable preference, sorry, on a tiebreaker. Oh my gosh, it would make my day.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, I mean, the ending to like the easy pool, it's always hard to hype up the RO32 pools, but I think you know there's enough interesting picks in this pool that I'm so happy with how it went. It is the last map in the pool. Thank you, Azasapag, for doing the replay. Doing quite a few replays. Azasapag, Entro, and Tony too did, I think, every replay. So, you know, super awesome replayers, super awesome replays. Pool and schedules, I believe, should be out on the sheet after the qualifier results reveal showcase, which we will be taking a short break before we get into. And Freddie, I believe you're staying on for that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I saw that you're heading off or something?
I am heading off, but Freddie will be there for the people.
Gotcha. I should have a couple people with me. Make sure there's no dead air.
I hope.
Or, like, guide me along as well. Always
Anyways,
fun.
Yeah, we'll see you in about 10-15 minutes for the results showcase, so we'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere.